Life is good. Ravens have to play the ex-champ in Mahomes and the Chiefs and the Lions and the Niners. Couldn't ask for more than that. She's going to be a good weekend. Oilers go for 14 tonight. Don't even know who they play, but I believe it's a pretty easy one. Let's take a look. Who do the Edmonton Oilers play today? Oh, God. Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, that's pretty much guaranteed win night, but let's hope the Blue Jackets win that one. Flames play the St. Louis Blues tonight. Well, nothing's easy for the Flames, which is okay. Whole year's been a little rough for those boys. It's Tuesday. It's cold, but it's about to be a lot warmer. Today, the cold leaves, which is nice. Oh, man, I can't wait for this weekend. I am nervous, but excited for my Ravens. I know they have the team to win, but will they play like they will? Who knows? Football is ugly. Who else plays tonight? Ottawa at Montreal, Dallas at Detroit, Tampa at Philly, Vegas at the Islanders. Patrick Waugh again, 1-0 so far. Capitals at the Wild, Blue Jackets at the Oilers, Sabres at the Ducks, Rangers at the Sharks. And the Sharks did win last night. They beat, the Kings in a shootout. Whew. Canucks beat the Blackhawks, Coyotes beat the Penguins, Panthers beat the Preds, the Devils beat the Golden Knights, and the Bruins beat the Jets last night. All right. Lots of action last night, lots more tonight. Ain't no football, I don't believe, until Sunday.
Good morning, partner. How's she going?
Tyson, I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Oh, not bad. Not bad.
Right on, buddy.
I was
Right
just,
on. Another Tuesday.
you bet, yeah, just scrolling through the cap situation for teams next year. So
Okay. All right.
not very good for some teams already.
Yeah, well, you know how that goes. That's kind of par for the course.
Yeah, there's New Orleans Saints, 87 million over the cap.
I mean, pocket change. They'll just weasel some bonuses here and there, some incentives, and
They'll restructure, yep.
they'll restructure something.
But it's crazy how that works. I don't get that part.
It is. The Bucks to start the year were 80 million over.
Yeah, I know. Let's see where they're at here.
They're probably better now.
They are. I can't even find them here. Oh yeah, they got 47 million space.
Yeah. Yeah, they worked it out. I don't know how you work out 80 million to 40 million the other way. I have no idea how people can work out 120 million, but obviously a lot of their dead contracts are coming off.
Yes, they are. They are. And the Washington Commanders have 73 million in cap space.
Ain't enough. They're terrible. They're gonna need another 100 million on top of that to become good.
Yeah. Titans have 71 million.
Oh, that's a lot too. Well, they're gonna lose Henry though. Their whole team's toast there too.
Texans 70 million.
Oh, now there you go. Look out. There's a good landing spot for Justin Jefferson if the Vikings let him go.
Bengals 59 million.
Wow.
Lions 58 million.
Woo.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Chiefs have 28 million, believe it or not.
Well, they need it. They need every dollar. I know they're in the AFC Championship game. I know they got a chance this year, but let's be honest, even if they won it this year, which I mean could happen with Mahomes, they're going to need their money going forward. They're aging, and this is, in my opinion, with this exact team, it's kind of the end of this run.
Yeah, I agree. Ravens.
I mean, they could pick up a few pieces. They don't have to have a lull. They could be right back at her next year with the right moves. So
yeah, Ravens 13 million. This surprised me. The Green Bay Packers have $7,000 cap room.
They can't even afford you or me.
No. Oh no, I'd go for 7. I'd go for 7.
Well, as long as I get an autographed jersey from Favre.
So I don't get that one actually, how Green Bay, they're a bunch of rookies, but they must have ate cap on
I think they
setting
had to
all
they
other
had to eat
deals.
some of Rogers. I think there was lots of dead cap they had to eat. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's a dead cap column here.
Oh,
So they got 5.6 million of dead cap for next year. That's
oh,
not bad.
that's not bad.
No. But that doesn't, I don't know what that dead cap number actually means. So
Yeah, yeah,
Chargers are negative 55 million.
yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Just a joke.
so crazy. But good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Fans Perspective Morning Show. We're back. We're
And it's
back.
about to get warmer. The weather is going to be turning
It is. It is turning to the better.
to the better. The poor
Yeah.
animals, though, how do they even acclimate to that? Nice, nice, nice frozen tundra. We're gonna get nice again. They're
Yeah.
just starting to grow their long hair out right now.
Wow. And were we ever cold? It wasn't just mildly cold.
No,
It was majorly cold.
they
Maybe as
went,
cold as weather as we've seen.
yeah, that I can remember. Like, and within like a 30-hour changeover, it was like pluses to minus 40s. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just trying to be an
Minus
animal in that.
minus 50 wind chill. And yeah, she was cold, cold, cold. And it stuck for 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, that ain't good for nothing.
No, no. But anyways, we'll go over some scores in the NHL last night. Boston, 4-1 winners over Winnipeg.
Yes,
New
sir.
Jersey, 6-5 over Vegas in
Toffoli got a
overtime.
hat trick.
Nice, nice. Florida, 4-1 winners over Nashville. Pittsburgh, and I want to talk about that game later. 5-2 losers over Arizona beats Pittsburgh 5-2. Vancouver 2-0 winners over Chicago. And San Jose beats LA in the shootout.
In the
4
shootout. Yeah.
Yes. So in that Pittsburgh game, not sure if you've seen it or not. I
Oh,
didn't
I
see
didn't
it.
watch any
I read
last night.
about it. So there was a drop pass from it was a delayed penalty.
Yeah, it was from Letang to Malkin because I
Letang to
read about it this
Malkin.
morning.
Malkin missed it, and into the net it went.
Yeah, I read about it this morning. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean I know exactly what happened just from the way they defined it. Yeah. Letang
It,
dropped it back, was gonna leave the zone, dropped it back, and Malcolm was already skating, they said, and just outreached him and trickled in the net. Yeah.
Pittsburgh's
It
uh,
sucks.
team, I think, has passed them by as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's
And
too
they
bad.
took
It's sad. It was a dynasty. It was a great group of kids. What a
and
great
they
squad. And that time has passed.
and they took Eric Carlson on to try and improve that. All they did
Tried,
was
yeah.
take on a nasty contract.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks. It is what they were loyal to Crosby, and which I really appreciate and all that. But at the end of the day, it
You
didn't work
think
out.
you think they will ever move on from him and give him a chance to be in a contender?
If he asks for it, they would.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
unsure. I'm unsure if he'll ask for that. He's already won, right? If he'd never won, I'm sure that would have already
Yeah.
happened. I don't know if it'll happen. He is definitely a loyalist. He's never been all about the money. He used to keep his contracts all, I think, still to this day at that 8.7 million to match up with his number.
Yeah,
Um, he's just a loyalist. He's already won. I'm sure that would change if he hadn't won,
yeah.
but he's got multiple cups. I don't know. Unless they made him move or he asked, I don't think he will move. I think he'll stay there till he's done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting actually because depends how important winning one more becomes
Exactly.
him.
That's why I say he's won a couple. So I don't know if he's got that in him that he has to win, or if he just loves the city and loves the team and the fans and just wants to close it out there because that's a pretty
Yeah,
special thing. Not many guys get to do that. Ray Lewis did, and he said in his last 4 seasons, I think he signed 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, I believe, or 2 year, 1 year, 1 year. Ray Lewis
yeah,
did, and he said not a chance. Even if I would have taken half the money, he's like I wasn't going anywhere. He's like I'd already won one. He said, and it means something to build a legacy. He's like,
yeah.
nobody does it anymore. He's like,
But
I got a statue, and he's like, there's nothing better. He's like, I got one team. He's
Yeah.
like, I bleed purple. And I'm like, I love that, man.
He did take half the money compared to nowadays.
Way less than half. His last year was not a lot of money. It's crazy,
No.
man.
Yeah, it is crazy how the time has
And he
changed.
was the number one graded defender on their team in the Super Bowl run. And he was one of the least paid. And the
Well,
old
he's known as one of the all-time greats in
in
NFL
Baltimore for
history.
sure. Yeah, in Baltimore for sure.
I would
I'm
say
looking.
linebackers, period. There's
Yeah, a
only
linebackers I'd give he's in the top three in my opinion. He's my top, but that's biased. But yeah, I'd say he's top three up there.
who's in your top three, just out of curiosity.
Oh man. There was a guy from the Eagles. Oh damn
So,
it
so
anyway.
one linebacker comes to mind with me, Lawrence Taylor of the
Lawrence
New York
Taylor,
Giants.
yeah, absolute beast. I mean, you got to remember, I'm younger, so I missed a
Yeah.
lot of the prime of the best linebackers.
Well, I
Um,
don't know.
I
Mike,
caught the end of them, you
yeah,
know.
Mike Singletary, Chicago Bears.
Singletary was amazing. And I know all the stats and I've watched lots of highlights, but unless you actually watch them season in, season out, and you
Yeah,
hear their name consistently, it's
yeah. Are
there's
you
a Green
thinking
Bay
of?
Packers guy for a short season, not a short season, but like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
Clay Matthews, was that his name? He
yeah,
was
Seth.
terrifying. He was
Yeah, he was
terrifying to play against when he was healthy and in his prime. But
Seth
you know,
Joyner,
the
Philadelphia
longevity of
Eagles.
some of these guys,
Yeah,
it was what sets the Ray Lewis's apart and guys like that. And the Lawrence Taylor, I mean,
for sure.
my God. But
Lawrence
who's the
Taylor,
Eagles guy that I'm thinking of?
Seth Joyner,
Is that the one that I'm thinking of?
a linebacker. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be for sure. They
Or are
talk about
you
it all
thinking
the
of
time.
Jeremiah Trotter?
Nope, not that name. Joyner would sound more familiar to me. Um,
Yeah,
they talked about him the other night, like all-time longevity, stats, no missed games, playing through injuries, always on the stat sheet. And there was one for the Eagles that I looked at. I mean, I didn't know him. I'm just putting him up there because I saw the numbers,
yeah.
and it was like, holy shit, he was in on like 60% of the tackles for like 6 seasons. Like it was a
Really?
lot. Like, yeah, I don't remember who it was, and it could have been him, but it was a lot. Um, it was just on the other day because they were talking about the Ravens linebackers this year and how prolific they are. And and so I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. And then they talked about a couple other, and they talked lots about the Chicago Bears, um, and a lot about the Steelers. But I will never put a Steeler in my top three ever in my life. Can't do it, even though there's some amazing players that have come off there. They just can't make my list.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Well, they
Steelers
have
fans.
one of
Y'all
the
had the best back there, but I can't ever. There's a lot of guys you had that were fantastic, but I can't give it to you. I can't give you no Malu. I can't give you
Troy
no
Polamalu
Harrison.
was awesome. He was
Oh
awesome.
my God, what an asshole! What an absolute asshole! That
And
guy,
hey, he had wonderful head and shoulders hair,
beautiful hair. I hope he gets lice. Yeah,
man. And they got one of the best right now. They truly do.
not even in question right now.
Yeah,
Like, look, their record without him is 1-10. One and
yeah,
11 now. 1-11 since the playoff game. With him is like he's lost like 3 games or 4 games or something. Like it's
yeah.
crazy.
He's pretty amazing. Did you see Brian Callahan to Tennessee? That's their
No,
head
I
coach.
didn't.
Yes.
Okay.
So Cincinnati, I think that's a good hire. Actually, I
Yep.
like it. I like it for Tennessee.
Keep signing guys. Do not. I want every head coach gone before the end of this week, just to make sure Mike McDonald stays safe with my Ravens.
Oh, you know that there's teams waiting.
There's 6 teams already reported, man. I mean, you don't build the best off defense in the NFL and not even close. I mean, Christ Almighty, the Texans did not get past the 26-yard line. They did not score an offensive touchdown. There
Yeah.
was nothing going on, and we still didn't get an interception, fumble, or sack that game, and we still kept them completely out of our end. Like that man's
It's,
defense and how he moves guys around to disguise things. We can't lose him. Give him $100 million a year. Pay him higher than Harbaugh. That's okay. Harbaugh would be cool with it. Harbaugh just wants to build a legacy and win. He's
yeah.
okay if someone makes more money than him. He's a Harbaugh. He's already rich. Let's
There,
go. Pay
there's
the man.
there's too many teams out there. I'm
Oh,
afraid for you because I went through this last year with my
it's
team.
hard.
Look what happened to my team.
Yeah, they just poach all your coaches is what happens. And I mean, I get it, right? They're like players too. They prove themselves and then whoop,
Yeah.
gone.
There's rumors that Wink Martindale has interviewed with the Philadelphia Eagles, so
Oh, that'd be a good one.
that's kind of interesting.
He was a dog with my Ravens, I'll tell you.
Yeah, interesting. And well, he was good with the Giants too. I don't know
Yeah,
what
he's a
happened
good
there.
coach. There's no question. He's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there with the Giants, but he left. So
Well, I mean, Odell
it's
Beckham
tough.
just did an interview like right before the playoffs, and he said the Giants is is where you go to die. He's like, because if you're not 100% online with exactly what they want you to be and look like and do and act, they'll cast you to the wolves. He said when they sent him to Cleveland, they sent him there to die. He said, like, they knew there was no life in Cleveland for me. There was
Yeah,
multiple trades that I wanted over that one that were better for the team, and they did whatever hurt me the most because I didn't want to be there anymore. He's like,
yeah,
the culture was gone. I didn't want to be there anymore. It was not a good place. The dressing room was tore apart. So why would I want to be there? I asked for a trade. There was multiple deals on the table, and they sent me to the absolute place that hurt me the most. He's
hmm,
like, and it was sickening. He's like, nothing against Cleveland. I'd love to be there now. He said their culture's totally different. They want to win, and they've got a team, and all the guys are buying in. Everyone's having a good time. He's like, but when I was there, go back and look. He's like, nobody wanted to be in Cleveland. The coaches were ruthless. He's like, we were losers. There was no culture. There was nothing. He's like, and I would just get thrown under the bus week after week. And he's like, it was the worst thing ever for my life. He's like, and it was a good interview. It was just brutally honest stuff. But like he said, if my son was in the NFL right now and got drafted for the Giants, I don't know if I'd let him play there. Like that's how disgusted he is with their organization.
really,
Yeah.
really. I'm
Yeah. He
kind
said
of
they tore
curious.
apart a winning franchise. He's like, it was all good until it wasn't. He's like, and then all of a sudden new coaches came in and they just brought it was terrible.
Yeah. I'm kind of curious what happens with Geno Smith. I was reading an article this morning before we came on, and he's got 2 years left, but new GM pulling the power. Pete Carroll won't be there. I
Yep.
think you're going to see a retooling in Seattle as well.
And they need it. They're not winning. So
No, they are
NFL
not.
is a win now league all the time. You got to always be going for it.
Well, and let's be honest, there's maybe 10 teams that have their franchise quarterback, and there's the rest that maybe don't.
That's 22 other teams. That's a lot
Yeah,
of
there's
moving
maybe
parts.
more than 10. There's maybe 12 or 13 teams
Yeah.
that
But some
might
of those
have.
guys are living in a pipe dream. Some of their starters ain't really starters. Just ask Tom Brady. He said there's eight. He didn't mention
Yeah.
who, but he said there's eight
Well, let's
on
go
his,
through
on his
that right now.
podcast.
Just off the top of our head, there would be all the guys. There'd be Buffalo. There'd be Baltimore. There'd be Cincinnati. There'd be the
Kansas
Rams.
City.
Rams, I would say, right? Kansas City. That's five.
I don't know. He maybe, Tom Brady looks in it deeper. Maybe he doesn't think the Rams have their starter because of his age and injuries,
Yeah,
though.
well,
You know what
maybe.
I mean?
Okay, we'll take it off. We'll take the Rams off. We'll put the
Right. That
Eagles.
might be one that he took off. Well, for sure the
Yeah,
Eagles have their guy.
yeah.
Um,
It's five. Um, Trevor
Houston.
Lawrence in
Houston
Jack.
has their guy.
Yeah, yeah. Would you not? Houston, so six. Trevor Lawrence has got to be in Jacksonville, right? That's seven.
Jacksonville.
Goff. Do you think Goff?
No, I don't think he would have been one on Brady's list.
Okay, Jordan Love has to
Yep.
be.
I bet that would have been the last one that I can think of off the top
So
of my head.
that's
There's a couple
eight.
other guys. There's Love. There's
We
the two
didn't
that I
say
thought of.
Cincinnati yet.
You did. Yeah, you
Did
did. You said
okay.
Cincinnati right away. Yeah.
Okay, so that's eight. Trying to think of yeah, Houston. We got. What about Indianapolis with
I don't think he's sold on him. I mean, week 3 got injured, taken out of the game. I think
out for
because
yeah,
when he said it, he's like, there's some guys that I think will be good, but they're unproven. His
yeah,
statement was pretty vague, but I could tell what he was getting at. The older guys, he's like unsure if they're trustworthy anymore as you
yeah,
get older. And the injuries. There was lots of guys that went out to injury.
and
I'm just looking down, but yeah, the Colts guy. I mean,
Browns.
I love him. Anthony
Who?
Richardson, the
Yeah,
Colts. I love him, but he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stop doing the Cam Newton. Like that's why Lamar had such a prolific games when he was a rookie, but he would never last till the playoffs.
yeah.
You got to be smarter than that. I'm just trying to think. Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that
And
don't
maybe
have.
he had Tua up there, but I don't think
Well,
he could
San
finish.
Francisco, we didn't mention. They have to.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a sold. They asked him about Purdy, in a previous one that I listened to, and
Yeah,
he said he's a good player. That's how he referred to him. He's a good player.
yeah.
Great
It
team,
depends how
good
you.
player.
how you describe franchise quarterback. But
Yeah,
I hate San Francisco, but I'm a Purdy fan just because he's a
I am
farmer.
too. His story is amazing. He's a
Yeah,
good kid. You see him in the interviews and everything. How can't you root for him?
yeah, he's a great
Hard.
kid.
I mean, this week I definitely won't be. I want to see the Lions there because the Lions story is much better than
I
just
do
Brock
too.
Purdy's.
Yeah, I'd love
But
to
they
see the
are
Lions.
in tough. If Debo Samuel is playing, they are in tough.
They are, but god darn Detroit is no slouch either.
Oh no, no, no. I ain't counting them out no matter what. That's going to be a dog fight if you
Like
ask me.
that
Dan
young
Campbell ain't going away easy.
No, that young Gibbs at running back and St. Brown and pretty
Laporta,
good defense.
Hutchinson on the back. Man, they're good. They're stacked up.
Yeah,
They're good.
they're crazy good, and they're gonna have cap room, obviously, to add to add.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Look out, man. Look out. And I think it's going to be a good finals here, AFC NFC, because the whether you stack up the Ravens as maybe a little better this year throughout the year than the Chiefs or whatever, the Chiefs have belief. When you got Mahomes and Andy Reid and Travis Kelce standing in your room, guys who
yeah,
have been there every freaking year, and
yeah.
they just came off a pretty good win against a team everybody was saying the other way was going to go. Um, that's going to be a dogfight over there. I'd love it to be lopsided for my Ravens. That'd be great, but I cannot see that happening. I'm the Chiefs could easily win that game. The other side, man, oh man, it's going to come out to who makes the least amount of mistakes in
Agreed.
that Niners game, 100%. And I don't know if destiny is a real thing. Lions are moving on, baby. Because that is the team of destiny. Who doesn't love them? My God, they're the Lions, man.
Did
Got,
you see? Did you see? Zach Collaros was in the same private box as
yeah,
Taylor Swift and Kelsey.
I
He knows the
did.
Kelseys.
What's that?
He knows the Kelseys. He went to University of Cincinnati with the
Yeah,
Kelseys.
since that's where he went to his schooling. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So
Well,
there's
hopefully her curse rubs off on him because she is dog shit.
yeah, but her wallet's wonderful, man. Her wallet
I don't
is
even give a
wonderful.
shit. I just have to pay more taxes then. I don't want her money. If I lived in the States, I'd be okay with it. But up here, what does it actually equate to? I got a raise this year, worked out to like $14 a month more after I
You got
gave my stupid government everything.
you got it wrong though, man. That's for us peasants with our raises.
Yeah,
When
I
you got
guess
money
so.
like her, you have people that make sure you do not pay tax.
That's true. That's true. I would have tax shelters everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Still
I
couldn't kiss her.
guarantee you.
Couldn't kiss her. Don't like her. No.
Oh.
I would way rather be with Jason Kelsey's wife. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, I
She's
thought you were gonna
awesome.
say Jason Kelsey.
Him too. Are you serious? There's nobody more fun than him. He
Did
stole
you
the show from Taylor Swift last week. It was the best thing that could have happened for football. Jumping out of the box, ripping his shirt off, chugging beers, man.
did you
That's my
see
dude.
he grabbed that young girl and she
Yeah,
wanted
so
to
she
be
could
Taylor
see.
Swift?
And did you
Yeah.
also see that Taylor Swift wouldn't even come over and take a damn picture with her?
I didn't see that part, but I
She
did
just
see.
waved at her. I was like, if your maybe future brother-in-law grabs a little girl who's in tears and the dad is like huge, all she had was a Taylor Swift sign. It wasn't even like a Chiefs sign. And then he lifts her up into the box, and Taylor did one of these. I was like,
Yeah,
that's really sweet and all. It's really good on Jason, but go take a picture with her. Go take 2 seconds. Stop talking to Taylor Lautner over there in the box and go have a picture with her. I got no love for Taylor Swift, man. She's
I
a
can tell.
money
I can
hungry.
tell.
I love Jason Kelsey, but Travis, that tainted me completely because I used to think he was the best. Now I don't like him. Gonzalez is
Uh,
way better.
his best game has passed him by. I truly believe it. I do.
But he had a hell of a game last week. I'll
He
tell you,
did. He
man. He
did.
still's got it, but
He's 35 though. He's not the
yeah.
best tight end in the league anymore.
Gronk is still my favorite. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'd almost take Justin Trudeau on tight end over.
Well, just so we could see him get popped a few times.
Yeah, but trouble is he'd be increasing taxes. He'd be talking to the PP.
You
like,
hit me. You hit me. Your carbon tax goes up, so you better let me go.
yeah. Did you see that Winnipeg's Investors Field is going to be renamed for next year? It's
No,
Princess Field now. Yeah,
is that for real?
Princess Auto.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes.
Holy shit, that's perfect. The Bombers are going to be playing in a friggin' princess's castle. That's fantastic. Oh, that couldn't get any better for us.
No, I agree. I agree. So I was happy to see that.
Bunch of losers finally on their
Bombers
best
played
word too.
in Princess Field. No, so that's cool. That's cool.
I like
So
it. I like it. It fits them. It suits them. Good for them.
it does. It does. Riders signing, extending some guys. Logan Ferland signed. De Beer
Yep.
signed.
Saw that.
We're still waiting for the big money to fall, but Sean
It'll
B.
happen. They're obviously working on some details.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the UFL is getting ready. They're starting to pump a little bit of that information at fans. So I don't know.
Yeah, it pops up on my Twitter every once in a while now, more often now. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I still think that's going to be a joke, but we'll see.
yeah. And the Riders also signed Lowther, our kicker. So that's a
Oh,
huge
that's a
signing.
good one. Yeah, we
Yeah.
know how important kickers are after this last weekend.
Oh yeah, man. I'm telling you, I can't believe that Buffalo did not change their kicker because we talked about it. I said he can't
You
hit
talked about
stadium.
it. I just
Yeah, he
agreed
can't
with
hit
it.
the stadium, yet alone the field goal.
I watched a video. It was like how they play replay the games through Madden and they'll replay the same game. And I saw the video at the end, and you know how like that with Madden, your ticker goes like this, and
Yeah,
it
yeah.
went by the post, and he clicked it over here. Yeah, they like went into the corner of the stadium. They're like, "Oh, what? Right?" I was like, "That's so mean," but it's actually what it looked like. That's legitimately what it looked like. Yeah.
Weird. And from a year where we've been raving about the kickers all year long, every team has a good kicker, not
No, they
Buffalo.
don't.
No, and I don't get why you dress your punter if he's hurt too, like
Yeah,
that, because
totally
he
weird.
sucked ass as well. Like, and she's a field position game. You got to have a backup there.
Oh man, and punters are important too nowadays because field
Yeah,
position is so important.
yeah,
And what side of the field you start a team off on, that's all strategic too. It's like our punter made a huge mistake last week. He punted it to the middle of the field, and that's when you get a touchdown ran back on you. He didn't
oh for
go to the
sure.
points, and he knew it right away. As he kicked it, and you could see him. He went like this. He was angry, like you punt it, and he went running because he knew shit. That's right down the middle. That could be a problem. And guess what?
It was.
Only touchdown against was from that kick. And you don't realize how important it is.
It's kind of funny though when punters decide that they're going to run and try and make a tackle.
Oh
That's
God.
like seeing me out there going
There's
down that
there's a
NFL
few
field.
guys. Pat McAfee used to rock some bitches when he would miss a kick or whatever. But he's a tank. I mean, you see him.
Yeah,
He's built different.
he's a
Apparently,
linebacker.
yeah. Apparently, Vinatieri was also an absolute beast with tackling.
You know
Um,
who else was?
no.
Our Saskatchewan boy, John Ryan.
Oh yeah, John Ryan. He's a tank too. He is a
Yeah,
beast of a man.
he
Um,
is.
and I'm missing one more, but it doesn't matter. But there's like four ever that could like if you were gonna make them look bad, they were gonna hurt you doing it. Like if you were gonna miss a kick, like a lot of times I remember watching games, be like, how the hell was the kicker the first guy down there? He was so mad at his kick, just willing himself and like make a tackle, and you're like, whoa. And then you
Yeah,
find out like they'll talk about it because of course it becomes a talking point when a kicker makes a big hit. They're like, well, back in high school, he played, defensive back line. And then they go back into their history, like, all right, he knows how to do this. Like he wasn't
yeah.
a kicker his whole career. That's just what he ended up doing in the NFL.
That's
And
what he
but
retired
it's
to be.
yeah, it's what he just got smarter and chose
He-
kicking.
yeah. Well, hey, that is the softest job in the NFL. There is no
Oh,
question. Other than the
but at
pressure,
the same time, son of a bitch, is there pressure on it?
well,
Uh,
you got to be the punter though. That's
yeah, that's what you got. I agree, 100%. Be the punter, man.
yeah. There is no pressure ever.
I
Just
agree.
beat the
Punt it.
ball.
Just
Yeah.
punt the ball. Hit it really hard, really high.
Yeah. The only time you have a little pressure is maybe when you're gambling, fake punt or something.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
you do that what once a season? Figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, really, you have no real pressure. You got a whole field to kick to. Just pound the ball, get good airtime, and
That's
life
right.
is
Get
good.
the airtime up there so your team can get there underneath. Don't hit no darts because that doesn't give your guys enough time to get there. And then you get the old Ravens run back. We don't want
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You think Buffalo's coach will be back?
I do not know. I would say his job is definitely in the air. him and Sirianni, I think, are sitting on the same button right now.
Yeah, well, Sirianni, it's funny. They're conducting interviews for offensive and defensive coordinators, and he has yet to meet with the owner. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think this week sometime they said, and they said it was a very similar feeling to Doug Peterson. They let him kind of come up and you basically fight for your job with him
yeah,
and you tell him why you belong and what you think happened and whatnot. And he's going to decide basically at the end of the day whether that he thinks that's enough
yeah,
or if no, I'm sorry, thank you, but we need to move on. And that'll happen probably this week, I would say.
I would say, yeah. I don't know what day they're meeting. I think Wednesday they said possibly. So,
Okay,
but they're conducting interviews already. That's weird because usually your head coach
fix
kind of
that.
his guys, right? But
Yeah,
he might get one more year. He might. He might.
maybe. Maybe, but I know as you being an Eagles fan and Eagles fans out there, they'd be as disappointed as the Cowboys were when they heard McCarthy was coming back. So, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
when you have a year that it's never happened before, we've been 10-1 and then lose out first round like that after so many losses at the end. It's just there's a change needed. Um,
yeah. Well,
you just
something.
something's got to
Maybe
give.
they're going to take control away from him too, and
Yeah.
defensive coordinator runs his show and the offense, and
Yeah, because it was his defense at the end of the day. He kept admitting to it, and it wasn't working. And I know they had injuries, but it wasn't working. In the
no, it was
NFL, you
horrible.
gotta you gotta kind of deal with injuries. I mean, the Bills were missing 4 out of their 7 starters on the back end, or six,
Yeah,
4 of their 6 starters on the back end. They kept it close. They couldn't stop Kelsey, and that was a huge problem. But
yeah.
you've got to be able to win some games, even with your backups. I mean, every week the Ravens are plug and playing, and they were lucky but they did go heavy the last 3 years. I just went back and looked. Holy shit. Everybody they've picked up or drafted, cornerback, defensive back, safety, everyone was along the back end. Like everyone. It's all
Yeah,
about their back end to them. If they don't allow a pass, right? It's all about the running game, and they already got their solidified big boys up front. And then they got lucky to get Patrick Queen the way they did. And that trade with the Bears where they got Roquan Smith was just hilarious, actually. I mean, that's
that's
probably the
like
greatest move of all time for the Ravens.
that's like Buffalo has never picked a wide receiver since Stephon Diggs has been there.
And
So
he's gone. I don't think he's coming back. He's an arrogant guy. And
yeah, his
I mean,
contract is I don't know. There's some issues there, and
it's hilarious because he basically says, like he said it multiple times, they don't use me enough, they don't use me enough. Well, down the last I think it was 8 games, no, 7 games where they had to start winning them out.
yeah,
He had 50 more targets than that Shakir.
yeah.
Like 50 more, like something like that. I might be wrong. It might be 35 more targets. Either way, it was a lot more targets. Saw it on Twitter last night, and 20 less yards.
Well, and that Davis is coming on too. Like
He's going to be good. Yeah. So, why not draft a guy? I think he's got another year left. Trade, get something for him. Get the 8th overall pick and go get a really good receiver. There
or
was someone's got the 8th overall pick and they were making it last night. It was like a mock I was watching on ESPN. Trade this team for their 8th. You go get this receiver. He'll still be available, and he was a stud last year or this year in NCAA. And then you got rid of the Stephon Diggs out of your dressing room issue, which everybody knows exists, even though they say it's not.
yes,
Um, and then you've got a young guy who's cheap, and it opens the door to go get some more defense.
it's kind of funny how that all goes, and I am actually curious to see what Philadelphia does with AJ Brown a little bit too. So
Yeah, absolutely. There's going to be some movement this year, more than most, just because there were so many
yeah.
disappointed teams.
And every mock draft I've been looking at has the Bears picking a quarterback at
Yeah,
one.
I know. Me
Oh,
too.
so Justin Fields. If I'm a team needing a quarterback, I am looking at Justin Fields, man.
Yeah,
I am.
yeah. I'd have no problem with taking Justin Fields. I think he's a lot like Odell said with what's going on in Cleveland. I think there needs to be a complete culture change in Chicago. I think that place is a dumpster fire.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think it's been good for him at all.
top ranked receiver, you'll recognize this name, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes,
Yes, so he's going to be pretty good. And you're looking at number 8. Yeah, Atlanta Falcons got the 8th.
that's who it was. Atlanta. Make the trade with Atlanta. Give him a star receiver. They've always had one. Julio Jones, guys like that. Tony Gonzalez, tight end, all that. They've always had a star.
Yep.
They need another one, and their quarterbacks need as much help as possible. So
Bears pick at 9 as well. 1 and 9.
1-9.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see Justin Jefferson move from
Yep.
Minnesota as well.
Well, he said he doesn't want to play there if Cousins isn't there. We know Cousins ain't going to be there.
No, exactly.
That's
So
his
yeah,
dude.
it's gonna be interesting, but very wide receiver uh heavy.
Yeah.
Five they figure in the opening round. So
A lot of
that's
talent
huge.
out there. A lot of
Yeah,
talent out there this
yeah.
year.
And they have the Rams picking a quarterback, believe it or not.
Really? Yeah. Well, maybe,
Yeah.
I mean, Stafford isn't long for the league. That's for sure. We know
Nope.
that.
No, he's at the tail end of his career, so that's kind of interesting. And yeah,
It'd be
it's
perfect if he had 1 or 2 more years left. You get a good young quarterback and you let him learn under a guy like Matthew Stafford and
yeah,
his work ethic and how he can throw the ball and how he does no look passes and his whole visualization and pregame and all that. Do you imagine learning under him?
yeah. Well, we'll have to do a post game of the NFL. Look forward to what every team needs and cap room. We did that last year, kind of deal, division by division, and we'll have to do that again. And because March, when the new year begins, that's a key date because lots of guys get released because they're due bonuses
Yeah,
and
yeah. Well,
that
just like
that's
even in CFL, our time is right now. Like we got rid of that.
yes.
What was his name? Did we get rid of that receiver because he was due his little bonus?
Oh, Wenicky.
Wenicky, yeah.
Yeah, and he was nothing for us last year. Like,
Did not help us in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I don't know if it was our quarterback situation, coaching, whatever, but
what
he didn't even exist.
Yeah, it didn't help that he was injured too, and our quarterback got injured, and I mean there
No,
was a flood
it
too.
didn't help, but at the same time, like Bain still put up yards. I mean, he'd be getting his bonus right now to Keaton.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
So you
exactly. I'm kind of curious.
can't blame injuries. I hate blaming injuries, man. Everybody gets injuries. This is football. There's one every game minimum on your
Yeah,
team.
I want Bane back so bad, but
I
I'm
know, me too.
nervous. I'm nervous, man.
I know it's gone too long, which adds to the nerves for sure.
Yeah,
And
because
he's too good. He's too young, too good, and he's shifty. I like him. He's
did
like
you
my
see him?
level-headed Tyreek Hill of the CFL, in my opinion.
Did you see him training the other day on Instagram? I don't know if you watched it or not, but he jumps. He's got like I don't know. It's got to be 4 feet high,
Yeah,
max, stacked. And from the ground, he has vertical. He jumps
yeah.
from the
I
ground.
knew he had vertical. I've seen him go up a few times, but no, I did not. I've been watching lots
Ridiculous.
of his stuff. Actually, tons of his stuff. But I must have missed that day.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
was just the
I
other
always
day.
check out if Bane posts stories or posts or whatever. Lots of the stuff's about his clothing line and whatnot, Bane's
Yeah.
World. But I did not see that one. But that does not surprise me
And
with
we
that.
have to
Who
hook
is that
ourselves
coming?
up with some Baines World stuff because he's a great guy. And
Yeah, he's a good dude.
yeah,
Well, Bane, you sign up with the Riders, and me and Tyson will place a couple $100 order. We'll
well,
hook it up.
we gotta take him out for lunch too. That's a deal that we made with him, and
Just
never
we
did.
won't take him to Trifons. We don't need him getting heartburn before the game. We'll take him. That's like an after party type of thing.
We'll let him pick the place. What the heck? He's
Look
he
at
knows Regina, man. So
knowing
we'll
him, it's going to be something healthy. We're going to be going to like some juice sandwich place. He's
well,
a
we'll
pretty
have to
healthy
stop
kid.
at McDonald's
Yeah,
after
you and
then.
me. We could pregame at McDonald's and then meet him up there. Hey, I like where your head's at. I like this. This makes sense.
Couple other things I want to get to. Congratulations to the Ackerman team who won the Viterra Championship in Saskatchewan. Good young team. They're all about 22 years old, so they
Wow.
could be the next team to kind of be dominant in Saskatchewan. So good
Wow.
on them, and hopefully they do well in the
That is a young squad. Woo.
yeah in the Scott Tournament of Hearts. I hope they do well. So that'll be good. And Corey Perry introduced to the Edmonton Oilers yesterday.
Yep.
So
Big
uh,
signing. I like it. Cost him nothing.
cost him nothing. And I think he's still got that grit. He really does.
Oh, I mean, he's pissed off too. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Um, he wants to win. That's why he chose there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He sees what they have. He's not going to come in there and disrupt anything. Because he knows if he does that, why the hell would he go there? He only wants to win. Corey Perry's that guy that doesn't give a shit about loyalty. He wants to win anywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And
And he's playing for a contract for next year.
yeah, he's playing for a bit of money, but he's also playing to win. Like
Oh, sure.
he would never have signed with San Jose.
No.
He'd have never signed with any of those. The Flames were nobody like that. It'd have been Vancouver. It'd have been Winnipeg. It'd have been
Yeah.
Edmonton. Maybe LA. That'd have been it for Corey
Yeah.
Perry. in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Oh, for sure, for sure. He wants to win, and he wants to be put in a good situation, and I can't honestly blame him for being a little mad at the situation
Yeah,
because if it was so bad, the league wouldn't have let him back.
that's right. That's what
And you know,
100%. If it was what everybody rumored, which we were hoping was true, not for Bedard's bomb or Bedard or any of that, just because it was juicy as hell.
yeah,
We kind of knew it wasn't real, but man, it would have been great. But what? My God, we'd have to make a movie about that. But you're
he could
right.
be a
To let
movie
him
star.
back in, it was probably just like a alcohol abuse or pill abuse thing. And I mean, shit, give these guys a break. Like I read tons of stuff about guys now struggling because
Yeah.
when they're in the league, they couldn't play without the medicine because it was the only thing that made their shoulder feel
Painkillers.
like it wasn't separating. And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden you kind of get used to liking that feeling.
yeah,
And I mean, give it like those athletes, man, they're pumped with so much shit all the time so they can go out there and perform and sell seats, right? I mean, and then ownership takes, once they're off the roster, it's like they take no ownership of the guy. Let him suffer and die. You know, it happens a lot in the NFL. The Pittsburgh Steelers have lost what, like 10 guys from the 60s, 70s, 80s already, something like that.
yeah. The Steel Curtain team.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Nobody gives a shit about them after they're not playing anymore and putting fans in the stands.
Yeah, it is crazy, and sometimes I wonder if the team just doesn't want out of a contract.
Yeah,
They're looking for things like it's crazy. It's crazy, but
Gary.
yeah, we'll see. So
Oilers go for 14 tonight.
yes, yes, and just a heads up, I believe I won a bet on the weekend, so hopefully heading to the owner's box of the Calgary Flames. Hopefully, we'll see if that happens.
Loser Flames.
I agree,
Losers. Losers.
but it would still be cool
That'd be
to
great. I mean, I'm a Flames fan. I'm all in, man. There's not a
yeah,
question. I'll drive. I'll buy the beers. I'm in.
it'd still be cool to go into an owner's box and see what the other side of the world looks
You
like.
know, I had a very disappointing experience when we won the owner's box package way back in the day.
Yeah,
We got a celebrity auction and my dad bid or whatever, and we won. And we went to the game and we got to pick our game. And
yeah,
so me, at that time, I was not a Flames fan. That was back when the Flames, it was before they got Kipper. Like they were terrible in that little run there.
yeah,
And I was a goalie, and my favorite goalie in the world was Patrick Wall. So for that short period, I was a Colorado Avalanche fan. So I said, well, let's watch the Avalanche. Like I want to see Patrick Wall. It was his off night. So we got the owner's box sitting right behind the player's bench, and I could stare at Patrick Wall on the bench the whole damn game. And then Harley Hotchkiss, who was the owner at the time, said, if the Flames win tonight, we'll go down in the dressing room and you can meet Iginla and then everybody. And I'm like, oh my. So not only did I not get to watch Patrick Waugh,
Bob.
Sakic scored with like 2 minutes left to beat the Flames. We lost and we never got to go down. So it was like, you know what? Son of a bitch. It was just, that was
That sounds
horrible.
like a
Like,
farmer's story to me. That sounds
God,
like
man, it was like the worst fishing story ever. It was like go to see Patrick Waugh. I got to see him warm up and then sit on the bench. I mean, I
yeah.
did get to see Peter Forsberg and Joe Sakic, which is pretty
That
special.
was a
That was
good team. That was
a
a good team.
magical team back then. But it was painful to like Harley's like, you can't go in the room after a loss. We won't do that, not to the guys. He's like, but
Yeah,
you can stand outside. But I didn't realize like I was waiting for all my favorite guys to come out. The top name guys don't come out the front door. They go out the back door into their vehicles. They only come out that way if they win to meet some fans and stuff.
yeah.
So like
They're pissed
there
off
was,
otherwise.
yeah, like I think it was like Freddie Brathwaite came out.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah.
uh,
I got to see Carey Price live, which was great.
I watched him play in the outdoor classic
Oh
against
yeah,
the
and
Flames. The Flames
it's
won 4-0. Kipper got a shutout, but you couldn't see the stadium. That's how shitty the
yeah.
friggin' Stamps place is. But two of my favorite goalies of all time, which was pretty neat. One got a shutout, but I've seen Kipper probably a dozen times.
I'm not an
Not
outdoor game guy for hockey.
no,
Like, how
oh my god, and
possible?
it cost a fortune. That was before kids. That almost killed me, man. Bankrupted and frostbite. It was
Yeah.
minus 39 with the wind chill that day.
And why would you want to go to a hockey game and sit a half mile away and be cold? I can go to their nice shiny new rinks, be warm, and actually see the game.
Back then, that was the start of it. Like that was the second year they ever did that, so it was like a huge nostalgic thing, whatnot. And Megan surprised me with tickets and bought me a custom, very expensive, the jersey that they wore, the
Oh
Kipper
yeah,
jersey, and like
yeah.
not a fakie or nothing, like the legit game day version. And I still have it. And I mean, it was like a huge package. She went way out. She spent her entire little bonus when she worked with TD on that package. And I was super excited. And then I remember we were in the back seat of her uncle's Yukon who picked us up, going back to her uncle's house like this. Oh, it was a good time. It was really nice that they won the game. Looked like I had Tourette's and all sorts of other stuff, man. I was just, man, my fingers were almost blue. It was so cold. I was looking around, looking down the row. Everyone's beers, because when they freeze, they kind of foam up. It looked like mushrooms sticking out. I'm just frozen. My hot chocolate at the end, I'm like, my hot chocolate, it must be empty. She's like, it's a popsicle at this point. I'm like, really? Popped the lid off. Sure enough, there was half in there. It was rock solid, man. It was like, oh, there was a guy running around. It was really cool. He had this backpack. Obviously, they were ready for it, probably from playoff football games,
Yeah.
but it was like a giant steel thermos, but it was hooked up to a little battery pack, and it warmed up the hot chocolate. And then he had a hose. And you just put your cup out, and he would just fill up your hot chocolate. It was like one of the attendants. It was $3, and he would just keep topping up your cup. So he stayed in our section, and man, I had like 30 hot chocolates, but at the end, I had this much frozen in my cup that was this tall. Because like I couldn't get it gone by the time this would freeze, and this much more, then this much more. By the end of the game, I had a full cup of frozen hot chocolate.
That does not sound like a good time at all to
No,
me.
man. And I mean, it was like $800 for us
Oh
to go,
yeah,
or 700
yeah.
for the two of us. And we got premium seats, and I still couldn't make out a guy on the ice other than Kipper because I knew he was in goal.
I spent 900 on Blue Jay tickets in the playoff game, so
I know,
I
but
know
that's
what you're kidding.
indoors.
Oh
That's
yeah,
indoors and a once in a lifetime.
yeah, it is. Well, I hope to get back, but I'm so disgusted with baseball right now. I don't even want to
I
talk
know
about it
it's
because
it,
of the
it it
LA
puts a
Dodgers.
sour taste in your mouth when you got the shit that goes on like Dodgerville, and
Yeah,
there's no rules to it. It's just like, oh, if you got more money, just go ahead. And that just sucks.
yeah, it does. It's not a good image for the league.
Mm-mm.
That's how I word it. So
No, it's
anyway,
not.
but
You got more
yes,
money, do what you want.
exactly, exactly. So, anyways, that's probably it for today, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk. I'm not sure what we'll talk about. Maybe an Oilers 14th victory.
Potentially, most likely, it will be. Yeah,
They play Columbus tonight, so
yeah. It'll be
let's hope.
guaranteed win night. I'm sure Goodrow's really going to show up for that one, like he's shown up for the other 40 games they played this year.
Well, Merzlikins could be showcasing himself for the Oilers. You never know because there's been hot rumors. He could go to Edmonton and flip flop for Campbell. So we'll see.
Okay, all right.
They make about the same money, eh? So
Well,
and Merzlikins has asked for a trade once out of Columbus.
yeah,
So
which you
we'll
can see
see.
why.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, he was in a third goalie tandem, so
Yeah,
he wasn't getting played. But
no.
we'll see what happens. And yeah. Well, check her out tonight,
Can
and
you imagine being in a
you got
third
a.
goalie tandem with the Columbus Blue Jackets, who suck anyways? God Almighty.
I hear you got a big rec game tonight.
Yeah, there's a big rec game tonight. Yep.
Yeah, I know some of the competition you're playing, so
Oh boy.
I'll just put it at that. I might make an appearance actually to
No, no,
watch.
it's
So
a bad idea, but you come on in.
I wanna see this live game action. So if you're
Yeah,
looking for
it's
something
a
to do
fast
tonight,
game. Don't blink, you might miss something like a groin
check
being pulled.
check out the Fox Valley Barrels. They're in town at the local rink tonight.
Fastest show on ice in
Yeah.
Fox Valley.
All right, my friend. Well, you have yourself a good day, and
You, Tyson.
thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow morning.
Cheers, guys.